I had to make another video real quick about something, right? Let me explain something to you. This video that I'm making right now, literally for my empress. I'm gonna tell you something. This is for my wife, Gold and Silver, and Golden and Golden, and my wife a certain type of way in the physical reality. I'm gonna tell my wife a certain thing situation, right? Let me explain something to my wife. You see, let me explain something to you. The only person that strengthened any element of all human conditions, if any element ever tries to turn against you, that's the death of the person in the physical reality if you try to turn the element against you. Literally, I'm not even saying that. That's what it's gonna be. But I'm gonna just say just like this, right? If a person in life try, say my wife is an element empress, and there's somebody of her humane condition who continues and says, "I love my mother so much that they want to be with their mother." Their mother, I'm the point that made their mother's existence, of the reason of her existence, even of her regardment. I'm the conscience of the mother. The mother, my wife, is the conscience of the continuance of our love, also of the humane condition. If a person weakens the love of the original force of the element, is weakening their humane condition of the physical reality. Because if their mother loves them more than she loves the man that made her militant, it's causing her love to be secondary. So in a form, in a periodical table in a cycle of life, that would be considered a person that wasn't the real point of the enlightenment of the continuance of the love at a point of existence. Probably it was some other element from other place that blended or mingled into her situation a certain type of way. If another person that's weakening her element, that's bending her element of existence. Now I'm gonna tell you why I'm telling you this. I have an old footage of myself a certain type of way, where I'm also showing the militance of the reason of the physical example, bending a form of an element that was going to be trying to penetrate my wife at the time. And I was dealing with the element science. And my wife is like, what is going to try to kill her a certain type of way and murder her a certain type of way at a time? And I said, hey, babes, since I'm your doctor, let me find out. A man goes, and then a man says, oh, this had the other. And then individuals try to see how real my situation was. Before, this was something that happened a long time ago in the past, a long time ago that happened a long time ago. And then as I dealt with the situation, my wife didn't really, I don't know if my wife ever watched how nice I was when it came to the physical reality. I don't know if my children ever mastered the reason of their physical reality. I don't know if my children ever became devious and vindictive and said they were going to destroy the reason of their humane condition, of their physical reality, of their regardment, that would have caused the end of their existence. And just like what I said earlier, if my child needs to be strengthened through the paradigm of time, I ask them, where's the purity of the high intensity of the reason of one's value of even existence in all forms of physics and the reality for my refinement of the reason of my love at a time, for the reason of your strength. And I could be speaking on my wife because obviously, second, the only person that really knows me that I can speak to through time a certain type of way is only my wife. If I want to view somebody to educate them, the reason why they have to be regarded of a high existence of 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 mentor or admirement of tender care is because of my wife's existence, because the delicacy, preparation, the prep, the prepping for her physical existence of the physical reality, for for her love, even at a point of existence, and it has to be done only by me. Now, an individual says, if my child tries to, say a child of mine, there's nothing new under the sun, tries, and we're speaking about elements, but there's nothing new under the sun. Say a child of mine tries to, how can I say this, manipulate their mother to regard them because they want to know some secrecy, or they want to be with their mother because their mother's so wonderful in the physical reality, they feel the mother should be with them only. I say, hey, a person thinking like that is just gonna actually try. If they pay, it's like Illuminati. If they paid for the gas, then fucked up the insurance because they wanted to see what it was about, and tried it because they wanted to see if they mastered it. Remember, I'm the real Buddha. And then on top of it, it's like, you remember what they used to do to me? The Buddha, like, I say if you're the master. The next day, I would look at the person and say, okay, we'll do it this day at this time, just be there. Then they would look for me and I would be gone. Then they wouldn't even be in my temple after that. No. But, or show up wearing a ninja suit while I'm there a certain type of way, and then say, what is this? Then this and all that. Okay, so this is the type of life you want. Then we'll see. Show up in class tomorrow. And then the person comes, and then I'm not there. I'm not even nowhere in sight to see where I'm supposed to be. And then you find out it's somebody else, and then hey, you probably wouldn't. Hey, they probably wouldn't be a part of my temple, depending on the physical reality, right? But it's just like a person at a time saying to my wife, secondary existence and lower than your higher conscience than what it is, so the reality bends to their form of pleasure, so they could manhandle or pimp their mother. The reason why her stomach should be weak at a time when it comes to their existence. It shouldn't be strengthened. Even if they try to kill her or murder her, it should be weak at a time. And then a person says, oh. Because just like one time I was doing something with this guy, went to go stab this loving being of my wife. It looked like, oh wait. And then I looked and said, hey, I can't let that happen. I can't let you kill my wife. And then as I seen the person really try, I said, oh, how could you look at my wife in a form like that and destroy her? What happened? I'm not going into the intricacies of what happened, but I know it was devious for a person to do something like that, and the acknowledgement of that person at the time. So it could have been something different, but I'm not gonna get too much into the intricacies to find out. But I'm not gonna tolerate a point of view of a destruction of my love in the physical reality the way I view a certain type of way. So I ignored the situation, forwarded, so it wouldn't even be a part of my existence a certain type of way, because a person who reaches a level of acknowledgement, they can't really do no physical harm to somebody. It's a person that doesn't want to be disciplined because they're not at that level to know the reason of the discipline a certain type of way. And then they're causing the element that disciplines them in case of emergency to not be able to regard itself. So it was like, if a child tries to manipulate my wife, that's an element. That means he's secondarying her emotions to soften her, to bend her reality and cause her death. Because if my wife is an element, she's not going to kill my child. And if my wife makes an element, that element is not going to kill my child neither, because if my wife really loves my child, she already made the foundation of that element. That element is going to identify that's the child that she really admires and loves, and it won't kill that child. But if that child tries to break my wife because they don't know how to be, it's just like somebody you sending somebody to go regard an individual, and then they have them in their mind they're gonna die. Thank you for keeping the door wide open while I slept, and just put the sign outside and said, "Go ahead, just don't let them know." While I'm sleeping, that's how I look at it and stuff. I'm just being sarcastic to show you the way I would look at a situation. Somebody do something stupid like that. So it's just like my wife, if she was ever gonna defend herself or get tired of her child provoking, irritating her conscience of the new generation because of the influence of other fucked up social economic individuals that just wanted her secrecy, that would have caused the end of her existence of being an empress, that she shouldn't be weak at a time to defend herself. She should literally be able to murder and kill that child that tried to bend her strength of her natural regardment of her defense just because they felt like they wanted to live. Now, it's one thing for a empress to defend their child, but it's another thing in stupidity at a point of acknowledgement in life. So there's a difference. And if I send my child to regard me, I never send my child to die. I send my child to be social economically educated. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm just gonna be real. If my wife is literally, manipulated by an individual that's ending her element, causing it to be feeble, that is not the point of not the beginning that made the element. No, it don't even matter if they made an element. Once the reason of the education is not me, I'm the only man that could be with my wife. So if anybody tries to manipulate the reason of the education, that's a person that's just trying to manipulate to murder my wife at a time. I can't watch and tolerate that, and my wife, especially an element empress, can't let something like that go. It has to get rid of that situation instantly. That's something that can't even be tolerated at a point of acknowledgement. And I'm just gonna be real, I'm a man that always is tolerating all points of acknowledgement. Me, Rafael, yeah, but my wife has to know how real what I'm saying is. So be very careful, Be very careful of younger generations manipulating one's strength or weakening one's strength because a younger generation sleeps with my wife in the physical, that's weakening her anatomy, filling her anatomy with feeble attributes of time. That's learning from her, that's depending on her consciousness to remain strengthened. And how you gonna depend on now? Think about this situation I'm saying, and think about the mind fucking here. How is somebody gonna weaken somebody's consciousness and then want their consciousness to be strengthened at a time? Because that means it's like a disease that's just choosing to disintegrate the element of existence at the time. Or I want your consciousness to be the strength and might, but secondary for me, not for yourself. It's like a nigga pimping you. Listen, you're a whore. You're a whore. You're not living. If I told my wife that I made my wife, I could commend my wife like she's my child, but a man can't tell my wife you're secondary, you're conscious for him, for some stupid shit from somewhere else, except for and tell my wife except for herself. When I want to come home and slap the shit out of your skull, that's what my son would say. That's what a kid would say to my child. I should come home and slap the shit out of you because I want to come home and slap the shit out. What? You want to slap the shit? What? I'm the one that bring in the money in the house. This, and other. My wife look at it. How you learn to bring money in the house? Like, where you came from, what's the human condition? Like, when people say certain things to my wife, I used to look at her like, I used to want to see her response at the time because I had to see with her mental and what is she. It's like when I used to be with Athena, I used to look at Athena a certain type of way. And then she always she was always sexual with me, like, oh, this and the other. I just look at her like, yeah, you got a lot going on, huh? What is this? What is this? Is that what you want? She's like, oh man, actually, it used to be, it was amusing dealing with it, because I used to love coming and creeping to a house just to have times of a form of acknowledgement, because the way I educated her and to see the way she reacts in the physical reality, because she knew how to stay appropriate for herself. So I love this about her, and a lot of my other wives, but something about her was just, it was just so wonderful, because I knew, I just can't say nothing, but it's just like, I used to look at other people at the time and just, no, this couldn't be serious. I said, this couldn't be serious. I used to come around, look at my wife, but the you know what I'm saying? I was so nice with it. I used to show her like, what the fuck? What the fuck? How do you do that? Easy, baby. If it happens in a certain type of way again, I'll slow it down just for you. Just to see what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I just tell her, like, for real. And then she used to really watch, like, yeah, just go ahead, do you. And then after a while, it was just like, she was like, oh, she didn't like me doing certain things, because she knew that was her education. So if I did something in the physical, it's like a part of her education being a certain type of way. She used to like me being militant, but I've been in such a way for such a long time. Another person wouldn't realize how really nice I am. And then my wife GolD, she's supposed to be refining with me instantly. Like when I see like certain of my wives, I was like you can't be playing games like that in the physical reality with an individual. Like what happened with you? Like how many times do individuals try to dishonor you, even at a point of existence, a certain type of way, and then they wanted to be a part of a certain things, and then hey, good for them. I guess everybody should live the life a certain type of way sometimes. So it would just be good for them. Hey, whatever. Whatever. But I hope my wife will just be educated when it comes to element. Don't let somebody try to end or weaken your physical to the reason why it should have the original strength from the beginning of time. I don't have to. I'm not gonna say these things no more. This is the last time I'm speaking about this. Have a wonderful night. Love one.